I appreciate your patience as we work through this investigation. As in the last two press conferences, I have a prepared statement, and then I'll take questions after that. As you know, at last night's press conference, we released the surveillance video showing a white male walking west on Douglas Street and then turning south in the Red Bluff High School parking lot. We asked for the public assistance in locating and identifying this subject. We would like to thank the public for their support and assistance after last night's release. We have received many calls providing tips that we are tracking and doing follow-up on. I'm happy to report that we have positively identified the subject in the high school surveillance video. He has been identified as Quentin Ray Beeler, white male adult, 39 years old, 5'11", 240 pounds. We will show you a photograph of Quentin Beeler at the conclusion of this briefing. Beeler was interviewed extensively this morning. Based upon information obtained from this interview, members of the Red Bluff Police Department, Tama County Sheriff's Department, Tama County Probation served 2 search warrants. One was served at a residence on the 1400 block of 2nd Street, and one was served on a residence on Central Avenue in Gerber. At this very moment, Beeler is being booked on a charge of 187 PC homicide. We are processing the results of the search warrants as we speak here tonight. Earlier, he was arrested and booked on a misdemeanor charge of 11550 Health and Safety Code, which is being under the influence of a controlled substance. He was booked at the Tama County Jail. As a reminder, this has been a team effort with many agencies contributing to the success of this investigation. Today, agents from the Reading FBI Field Office began assisting us with this investigation. Detectives from the Red Bluff Police Department attended the autopsy in Woodland today as scheduled. Cause of death will be provided after we receive official notification from the pathologist. We are continuing to complete follow-up investigation on this case and will provide you with additional details as they develop or when it becomes appropriate to release additional information. I can't understate the complexity of this investigation and the amount of work that still remains despite the fact that we have a suspect in custody. So with that, I will take some questions from the press.
More about Quentin. Is he from the area, or?
He is a local Red Bluff resident.
Okay. Did he have any relationship with the girl prior to this?
None that I'm aware of.
What links the suspect to Marysa?
I'm sorry?
What links him to Marysa?
That's details in the investigation that I'm not in a position to reveal at this time. Yes, ma'am.
Can I get the spelling of his last name, please?
The spelling of his last name is B as in boy, E as in Edward, A as in Adam, L as in Lincoln, E as in Edward, R as in Robert.
And
Bealer.
Quentin, first name?
Quentin, Quentin, and we will provide you with copies of this at the conclusion. Yes, ma'am.
Why 2 search warrants? Why one in Gerber and one in Red Bluff?
Again, that would reveal specific details of the investigation that still at this point in the investigation could compromise the integrity of that investigation, and I'm not willing to release that. Yes, sir.
Are you looking for any other suspects?
No. Any other questions from the press?
I'm curious, did you recover the clothing that he was wearing in that video?
Again, you're asking specific questions about the case that could tend to compromise the integrity at this point in the investigation, and I won't answer any questions about evidence or anything like that, so at this point, just please don't ask those questions.
What were some of the biggest challenges in this case so far?
That's kind of a tough question because it's a very challenging case. I think that the video surveillance from the high school played a crucial role, and the challenge is, as in any case, getting enough evidence to prosecute the case successfully. So we're continuing to work on that, and we have a lot of work to do. We will once again return to our command post tomorrow morning, and we will have a team of investigators following up on leads, and we still have a lot of work to do. So, yes, sir.
Did he live at the house in Red Bluff?
At the house?
The house you searched?
At times. Yes, sir.
How many tips did you have from the community from last night, and did one of those tips lead directly to Quentin's arrest?
The simple answer to that question is I don't know how many tips. I mean, I have a team of people working on the tips. and we've received dozens and dozens of them. As far as, I think what led to us identifying the suspect in the video was the fact that we released the video last night, and certain people saw that, and that led to us identifying him, and that's all I'm willing to say about that. Yes, sir.
You mentioned at times. Is he a transient?
No, he has a home, but he stays at different locations. Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
sorry, one more time for me, where was he arrested?
He was arrested here at the police
I'm
department.
sorry, where did you pick him up? I'm sorry.
Here at the police department.
Chief, will you entertain questions from the public?
No,
No.
sorry. Yes, sir.
Did he come forward? I mean, or how? I guess how if he was arrested, if he. Was
He was convinced to come to the police department by acquaintances.
Would that be the acquaintances at the home that you searched?
I'm not going to respond to that.
With any signs of sexual abuse?
Again, you're asking specifics of the investigation. Quite frankly, until I receive information and results from the autopsy, I can't respond to a question like that because I just don't know. It's as simple as that. We don't have the answer to that question one way or the other.
Most people we talk to are pretty distraught about the whole situation. Can you talk about the vibe of the whole city in reaction to this?
Well, only from a logical response. I don't know everybody in the city, so
Right.
it'd be tough for me to do that. The fact of the matter is this. It's a horrific crime. It was to a young woman who had a whole life ahead of her. And I think everyone's going to treat that seriously, and it's going to bother them.
Does he have any history, previous history of crimes and criminal history? Do you know of?
I don't think I can respond to that from a variety of standpoints, not less that this is an open active investigation, and that's that kind of information is governed by the Public Records Act, and I'm not free to release that right now.
How upset are you that something like this happened in your town?
Just about as upset as you are, and everybody else in this room, and everybody else in this community. I hope that answers your question. No one's happy about it, and we're dealing with it as best we can. Yes, ma'am.
So much of this case, like you said, relied on video surveillance and everything, and you know, how important, how much does that mean to you that you live in a community that, you know, was coming forward and so active in this search?
I'm not sure I understand your question, actually.
I guess just
Sorry.
No, I guess as a leader in this community, how much does it mean to you to have so many people on the lookout and wanting to, you know, help you guys out?
I think that's very important. I think that's the very reason why we came forward last night. We made that a part of our press response during our press conference. We needed the public's assistance, and I think that pressure came to bear, and that resulted in our suspect and the person in the video being identified. So it's very important. Yes, sir.
I'm curious, you mentioned he's currently being held on a drug charge.
No, that's not what I said. I said he's currently being booked for 187 homicide PC, or homicide, and he would be arrested earlier today for being under the influence of a controlled substance.
And can you specify what that substance is?
I'd rather not at this time.
What time was that arrest?
I actually don't have that information in front of me. Suffice to say that it was several hours ago. I understand that the timing of this is that my lieutenant called me at 5:30 this morning, and we started working that angle of the case at that time of the morning. So I didn't pull together those
Was it
specific
morning or
times for this.
afternoon, the arrest? The press release came out at 1 o'clock. That said there'd be a press conference tonight, so.
Correct.
Had he
That
been
was just a
arrested-
summary of last night's
Had he
press
been
conference.
arrested before 1 o'clock?
LT, can you help me on that one?
The best I can respond, Chief, is just early afternoon.
I mean, if you like, that information is readily available at the jail as to what time he was booked into the jail.
Okay.
If you wait after this press conference, we can readily get that for you. I'm just not going to speculate right now because
That's fine.
I just don't know. It's not something that I prepared for this conference. Any other questions?
Does Clinton have a history of mental illness that you know of?
even if I knew, I couldn't respond to that because that's governed by a confidentiality issue. I couldn't tell you.
Has he been arrested in Red Bluff before?
Again, that's part of the investigation I'm not ready to talk about and not willing to talk about. Yes, sir.
How was he currently staying at that home that you searched in Red Bluff?
Again, we're getting to those areas of the case that I'm not really going to provide information. You're getting the specifics, and we are probably, if you were to measure it, we're 50% into the investigation. We have a lot of work to do, and I'm not going to discuss things that would jeopardize further search warrants that we want to obtain, further searches for evidence or anything like that. So, you know, I can't answer those kind of questions, but I won't. Any other questions? In that case, Lieutenant, would you go ahead and throw up the picture of our suspect? That is the individual that we booked today, Quentin Ray Wheeler. Those of you that from the media, if you'd like to take this opportunity to get a picture, go ahead and do so.
You can leave one of the back lights on a little bit, just make sure the phone are down, please. Take your time. I will leave this up at the conclusion of this if you need to take the better still. It's up to you.
Okay, so at this point, I'll take a few more questions, but other than that, we actually still have a lot of work to do, and I'll go from there. Any other questions that you think I can answer?
Do you have a time frame on any new information from the autopsy?
The honest answer to that question is I have no information from the autopsy. I mean, my detectives got back from that at 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and we're not going to have any results from the autopsy until the very soonest, and this is optimistic, next week. And when we have those results, I will certainly either do a press release or call another press conference. Yes, sir.
Just real quick, just gotta ask, any idea on motive yet?
Again, that's a question that would be inappropriate for me to even respond to. I mean, we really have a lot of work to do. We are going to be very busy tomorrow and throughout the next week. And I think I've provided you each night as much details and much information as I possibly can. So, any other questions? 2 more and that's it. Yes, ma'am.
Can you say if he has confessed to murder?
No, I cannot answer that question.
Does he have children at the school, or did he have a reason to be at near the school?
I'm not prepared to answer that question either. So I think that's it. I think I've answered most everything I can at this stage of the investigation. Thank you all for being here, and we will continue to provide details as they become available or are appropriate to release. Sergeant Graham has copies of this press release available for the press, and once again,